Time was supposed to age you, yet here you are, making time itself look like the fool. Let that sink in for a moment, chosen one, because the truth is, nothing unsettles your enemies more than seeing you step into a room looking younger, fresher, and stronger than you should by the rules they live by. They can't explain it, they can't rationalize it, and it eats at them like acid. Now imagine this for a moment, chosen one. They spent years laughing at you, waiting for life to drain you, expecting the struggles you went through to leave scars all over your face and weight on your body. But instead, you walk in glowing, with an energy that makes them question if you've discovered some secret fountain of youth that they'll never get access to. That's the part that stings them the most, because your very existence is proof that the universe is working in your favor, while their bitterness is aging them like milk left in the sun. Here's a fact to lock in. Stress is one of the fastest aging agents known to humanity. Studies show it breaks down cells, weakens your immune system, and adds years to your appearance. Yet despite the betrayals, the isolation, and the challenges you've been forced to survive, you don't look worn out, you don't look drained, you look preserved, you look renewed. And that's not something makeup or skincare can buy, that's resilience written all over your body. While many people your age are already battling aches, wrinkles, and heavy regrets, you are carrying yourself like you cracked a code that no one else can solve. And that chosen one is why people stare at you like you're bending reality, because in their eyes, you are. And thank you, chosen one, for being here with me right now. Don't forget to give this message back by simply pressing the like and subscribe, because when you do that, you're helping this word reach more souls. This isn't just a message, it's a movement, and you are part of a force bigger than yourself. You're helping to spread light in a world that often tries to bury it. So thank you, chosen one, for standing with me. Now, let's dive back in. The truth is, your looks and your age have become one of the biggest shocks to the people around you. It's not just about beauty. It's not just about skin. It's about what your presence reveals. Because while they see you thriving, they're reminded of all the choices they made that drained them. Your reflection has become a mirror they can't escape from. When they look at you, they don't just see someone aging gracefully. They see themselves wasting away from envy, regret, and the years they squandered. And this is why whispers follow you wherever you go. People ask questions, they make jokes they hope will cut you down, but deep down, they know the joke is on them. Because the universe has given you a glow that they can't buy, fake, or copy. Think about this. There are cultures all around the world that revere age as a sign of wisdom and power. But when it comes to you, chosen one, it's as if your age refuses to play by the rules. You are walking proof that years don't equal decay, they equal refinement. Like a diamond under pressure, you've only grown sharper and more radiant. And when people compare themselves to you, the contrast is almost cruel. They expect to look younger than you, but the universe decided differently. You are the exception that exposes the illusion. That's why their eyes linger. That's why they're obsessed. That's why their envy feels so heavy, because you make time look like it failed its job. Here's another fact to stamp this truth. Scientists discovered that telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of your DNA strands, shorten with stress and toxic lifestyles, making people age faster. But when someone finds peace, heals from trauma, and learns to cut away toxic energy, those telomeres actually stay stronger and longer. In other words, healing literally keeps you younger. That's why you glow. That's why your enemies hate it, because while they fed on drama and negativity, their bodies and faces carried the cost. Meanwhile, you refused to let the poison stay inside you, and the universe rewarded you by turning back the clock in your favor. Let's be real, chosen one. Most people your age are hiding behind filters, Botox, or excuses. But you walk into the room unbothered, looking years younger than the number attached to your name, and it terrifies them. Because nothing rattles people more than seeing someone break the rules they've been enslaved by. They thought time was the great equalizer. They thought everyone eventually crumbles, yet here you are, still radiant, still magnetic, still shocking them into silence. You've turned aging into your disguise, not your downfall. And this is why you've become such a talking point. They don't just whisper, "How do they look like that?" They whisper, "Why don't I?" And that's the question that eats them alive, because the answer is simple but brutal. They didn't take the path you took. They didn't endure the fire you endured. They didn't learn how to protect their spirit when the world tried to break it. You did. That's why you look like this. That's why your age shocks them. So buckle up, chosen one, because in this message we are going to uncover exactly why your looks and your age are not just surprising people, but shaking their entire sense of reality. This isn't surface talk. This is about understanding why your existence has become a reminder that time does not rule you. You rule time. And once you see it clearly, you'll understand why their jealousy isn't just about your beauty. It's about the undeniable truth that you've been chosen by the universe to carry something they'll never touch. A glow that no clock, no wrinkle, no enemy can erase. So, chosen one, before we go any further, I want you to pause and think about what we've uncovered already. Your very presence, your looks, your energy, your age is exposing the lies people believed about you, and that's exactly why they can't stop staring. If you've ever felt the shock in their eyes when you walk into a room, or sensed that whispering envy when they realize you look younger, stronger, and sharper than they expected, then this message is speaking directly to you. And here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below with the number 777 if you know deep down that your glow isn't ordinary, that it carries something timeless. Because when you do that, you're not just agreeing with me, you're declaring that you see through the illusion and you're standing firm in who you are. This isn't just a video, it's a mirror of your reality. And the longer you stay with me, the more truth you're going to recognize about yourself. So lean in, chosen one, because what's coming next will not only explain why your looks and age are shocking people, it will show you the hidden power behind it. Let's begin. Number 1. You made time your servant instead of your executioner. Nothing burns your enemies more than realizing you've aged in reverse, while their bitterness aged them twice as fast. Let that sting sit in their chest for a moment. Because, chosen one, your very existence is an insult to the rules they swore life had to play by. They thought pain would leave you cracked, that stress would carve deep lines across your face, that heartbreak and betrayal would leave you looking worn down. But instead, you walked through fire, and instead of ashes, you came out refined, glowing in ways they can't comprehend. You didn't just survive time, you bent it. You made time your servant instead of your executioner, and nothing eats them alive more than seeing you embody what they secretly wish for but will never touch. Now imagine this. They invested money, time, and desperation into creams, needles, filters, and gym memberships. They believed youth was something you could buy in a bottle, paste onto your skin or fake with good lighting. But when they stand next to you, all those expensive lies collapse instantly. Because here you are, looking fresher, lighter, sharper, and not because you're hiding your age, but because you've redefined what age even looks like. That's why their mouths hang open. That's why whispers follow you around like shadows. You've become living evidence that the universe honors alignment over appearance. And that fact terrifies them, because it proves that all their shortcuts are just costumes, while you are the real thing. Why do they look younger than me? That's the question clawing at their minds. And let's be honest, some of these people are younger than you, yet when they stand beside you, the comparison feels unfair. Their energy is heavy, their skin tired, their posture weighed down by invisible regrets. Meanwhile, you stand there as if life recharged you instead of drained you. And it doesn't make sense to them. It isn't logical. They can't put it into an equation because the truth is, it's not external, it's internal. You reversed decay not by creams or surgeries, but by doing the brutal work most people run from. You faced the darkness they buried. You healed what they ignored. You let go of poison they still drink every day. Think about this. Science has already shown us that trauma and stress accelerate aging. Cortisol floods the body, breaks down collagen, shortens DNA telomeres, the little caps that keep your cells young. This is why people look decades older than their birth certificate says. But here's the twist. Chosen one. You took every betrayal, every heartbreak, every lonely night, and instead of letting it poison you, you alchemized it. You turned it into strength. You chose alignment. And when your body finally realized you weren't living in survival mode anymore, it did something miraculous. It started repairing itself, regenerating, renewing. You didn't just heal your mind, you sent signals to your body that said, "We are safe now. It's okay to rebuild," and your body listened. That's why your glow is unexplainable. That's why your reflection shocks them. Let me paint this picture. Most people your age wake up groaning about back pain, complaining about fatigue, chasing coffee just to stay awake. You move with energy that rivals people 10 years younger. While they slouch, you walk in with presence. While their eyes dull, yours sparkle with something untouchable. And the more they compare themselves to you, the more bitter they become. Because every line on their face screams about choices they made, about years wasted, about toxic energy they never escaped. But when they look at you, they see none of that. You carry no sign of the decay they expected. You are a walking contradiction, a glitch in their matrix. And nothing makes an enemy sicker than realizing you've been through more hell than them and somehow came out looking like heaven. Maybe it's makeup, maybe it's genetics, that's the excuse they whisper. But excuses can't hide their envy. Deep down, they know it isn't luck. They know it isn't chance, because they saw what you endured. They witnessed how people tried to break you. They saw you isolated, betrayed, and abandoned. They thought the weight of it would leave you unrecognizable. And now, when they look at you, they're reminded of the truth. They underestimated you. You don't look good because nothing happened to you. You look good because everything happened to you, and you healed instead of rotted. You faced your storm instead of hiding from it. And the reward was a glow they can't manufacture, no matter how much they spend or how much they envy. Here's the part that makes them choke. You don't just look young for your age. You look ageless. You carry yourself in a way that refuses to be boxed in by numbers. Your energy radiates like someone entering their prime, not someone past it. And that shakes people to their core, because for them, age is a death sentence. But for you, age is just a disguise. While they panic over wrinkles and fading youth, you evolve. Your beauty doesn't expire, it transforms. Your presence doesn't shrink, it expands. Every year adds more gravity to your aura instead of stripping it away. And that's why their jealousy runs so deep, because they're watching you cheat the very clock that chains them. So, chosen one, don't doubt for a second why they stare. Don't second-guess why they whisper. You've mastered something most people will never touch. You aligned with yourself so deeply that time had no choice but to respect you. And in a world obsessed with filters and illusions, you've become something terrifyingly rare, authentic. You are proof that true healing rewrites biology, that alignment reshapes the body, that peace shines brighter than any cosmetic procedure. And that kind of evidence, it's undeniable. They can't erase it, can't dismiss it, can't unsee it. And the irony is brutal. The same people who mocked you for being different now try to copy the glow they swore wasn't real. The same ones who thought isolation would ruin you now see it preserved you. They look in the mirror and hate what time has done to them, then glance at you and hate what time has failed to do to you. That envy? That's their punishment. Because while they wasted years conforming, you spent years aligning. And now every room you walk into is a silent reminder of their biggest mistake, doubting you. So let them choke on their confusion, chosen one. Let them squirm when they do the math and the numbers don't add up. You are the exception. You are the glitch in their system. You are the living proof that time only destroys those who refuse to heal. And as for you, you don't just look untouched, you look untouchable, because when the universe is on your side, age isn't your executioner. It becomes your disguise, your weapon, your crown. Number 2. You turned pain into gold while they let pain rot them. Some people let pain write wrinkles on their face. You let it carve wisdom into your soul. That's the difference, chosen one. And that difference is why people can't reconcile your age with your appearance. They expect to see pain dripping off of you, etched into your eyes, sagging at the corners of your mouth, tightening your skin with bitterness. Instead, what they see is someone who's been through more storms than most could survive, yet stands there looking lighter, clearer, fresher. And that contradiction, that's emotional alchemy in motion. Here's the truth. Trauma doesn't just live in the mind, it embeds itself in the body. You can read someone's life story in their posture, in their jawline, in the way their eyes dart or drop. Rage hardens features. Resentment makes faces heavy. Disappointment steals light from the eyes. That's why so many people, even at a young age, already look decades older. They never processed what they went through. They buried it, and now it leaks out through their body. But you, chosen one, flipped the script. You went through betrayal, manipulation, abandonment, pain that should have left permanent scars. You carried the kind of heartbreak that could have twisted you into someone unrecognizable. But instead of letting it calcify inside you, you broke it down. You faced it. You cried when nobody was watching. You screamed when the walls were your only witness. You allowed yourself to bleed so you could heal clean. And that's why today your reflection shocks them. It doesn't tell the story of your wounds, it tells the story of your transformation. Pain is a poison if you store it, but it's medicine if you metabolize it. That's what you mastered, emotional alchemy. You didn't deny your emotions, you digested them, you let them pass through you instead of rot inside you. While others carried their rage into every conversation, every relationship, every glance in the mirror, you chose release. That's why your skin doesn't tighten with years of unspoken resentment. That's why your eyes still shine with light instead of dulling into shadows. You didn't store your pain, you converted it. And that's what's written all over you. Now imagine this. Someone from your past who hurt you badly sees you today. They expect to see their damage etched into your body. They expect to see dark circles, stress lines, and the weight of their betrayal aging you. But what they find is terrifying for them. You look lighter than before. You look freer than ever. And in that moment, they realize the pain they caused didn't leave you broken. It left you glowing. That's a mirror they can't handle, because while you transmuted the poison, they kept drinking it. They're older, heavier, more bitter than you've ever been, and the reflection eats them alive. Bitterness is the heaviest luggage you'll ever carry. And look at the proof. Walk down the street and you'll see people hunched over by invisible weights, the weight of grudges, the weight of old betrayals they never released. It shows in their faces, their health, their very energy. But you dropped that luggage years ago. You decided you weren't going to let someone else's actions rob you twice, first when they hurt you, and again every day you chose to carry it. You let go. And letting go gave you your youth back. Now imagine this. A person your age walks into the same room as you. They've lived a fairly normal life by society's standards, but their face looks worn, their body tense, their smile forced. Then you step in, your energy lighter, your presence magnetic, your face free of the tension they can't hide. Guess where all eyes go? To you. And it infuriates them because they can't understand how you lived through more chaos than them, yet look younger, fresher, freer. That's when the whispers start. That's when the jealousy boils, because your reflection has become their reminder of everything they refuse to face. People age in two ways, by time or by trauma. You chose neither, that's the secret. You didn't deny your pain, you processed it, and when you processed it, your body stopped aging from it. Scientists know this truth. Unresolved trauma keeps the nervous system in a state of fight or flight. Constant stress hormones, constant tension, and that tension translates into faster aging. But when you release, when you cry it out, scream it out, purge it out, you reset your nervous system, and that's why your skin looks calmer, your eyes clearer, your presence softer. You didn't cheat biology, you mastered it through healing. Let's be brutally honest, chosen one. Most people look their age not because of time, but because of bitterness. They're still reliving that breakup from 10 years ago, still angry at the betrayal from 5 years ago. Still holding on to disappointments from yesterday. That's why they wear their pain like a mask. That's why they look tired, even when they've slept. But you metabolized every ounce of pain into wisdom. You turned heartbreak into understanding. You turned betrayal into boundaries. You turned abandonment into self-trust. That's alchemy. Turning the lead of suffering into the gold of growth. And that gold shines through your body, whether you want it to or not. Now imagine this. Someone younger than you tries to belittle you, thinking age is their weapon. But when they stand next to you, the truth speaks louder than their words. They look older than you. Their bitterness shows. Their stress weighs them down. Meanwhile, you look ageless, untouchable, and in that moment their arrogance cracks because they realize youth isn't measured in years, it's measured in energy, and yours is priceless. Your peace is your skincare routine. That's what they'll never admit, because they'll try to say you're lucky or that you're hiding behind products. But the truth is, your peace is what keeps you radiant. Your honesty with your emotions is what keeps you light. You look young because you live light, and no serum, no surgery, no filter can replicate that. That's why they envy you, because you discovered the one secret they can't buy: emotional freedom. And chosen one, let's address the question that sometimes creeps into your mind. Do they really notice? Or am I imagining it? Let me tell you, yes, they notice. Every whisper, every double take, every awkward compliment that comes out sounding more like envy, that's the proof. They notice. They can't unsee it. They expected you to look damaged, but instead you look renewed. And that dissonance shakes them, because when they look at you, they see the undeniable evidence of what healing does, and it forces them to face what they've avoided their entire lives. So stand tall in it, chosen one. You've mastered something that most will never even attempt. You've proven that pain doesn't have to destroy, it can refine. You've shown that emotional alchemy is the ultimate beauty secret. And now, every time you walk into a room, your presence says what words never could. I survived. I healed. I transcended, and that's why your age shocks them. That's why your looks confuse them. Because while they chose to rot in resentment, you chose to rise in renewal. And that's the kind of glow that no clock, no enemy, no trauma can ever take away. Number 3. You froze the clock when you stopped dancing for their circus. Every wrinkle on their face is proof they've been slaves to a system that never cared for them. Your glow is proof you walked away. That's the gut punch, chosen one, and it's why people can't figure out how you look the way you do. Because the truth is, most people age faster not because of time, but because of the endless performance they put on for a world addicted to appearances. They wake up every day putting on masks, bending their backs to carry expectations, and running in circles just to be seen, liked, or accepted. They call it success, but their bodies show the truth. It's exhaustion. Their eyes look dull, their skin folds under pressure, and their energy leaks like a broken faucet. They've been performing so long, they don't even know who they are anymore. But you, chosen one, you made a decision most people will never dare to make. You stopped dancing in their circus. You unplugged from the matrix. You said no to the constant pressure to conform, to impress, to prove your worth, to systems that were never designed for your peace. And the day you did that, something incredible happened. Time loosened its grip on you. You didn't just stop performing, you stopped aging the way they do. Approval is the heaviest tax you'll ever pay. That's the tax most people can't escape. They spend their energy on fake friendships, pointless competition, and endless comparison, and that tax ages them fast. But when you chose authenticity over approval, you stopped paying that tax. The energy you used to waste trying to fit in started coming back to you. And that energy didn't just recharge your spirit, it restored your body. Your face softened, your skin calmed, your eyes regained clarity. The clock slowed, not because of magic, but because you stopped leaking your life force into places it was never meant to flow. Now imagine this. A group of people your age sits together, bragging about their grind, late nights, endless hustling, burning themselves out to stay ahead. They wear their stress like a badge of honor, and then you walk in. You didn't grind yourself into the ground. You didn't sell your soul to the rat race. You chose solitude, clarity, authenticity, and the proof shows. You look rested while they look drained. You look free while they look trapped. And though they'll never admit it out loud, inside they're asking themselves, how do they look younger when they've been through more? Here's another hard truth. People age fast because they confuse survival for living. They stay locked in cycles of social climbing, chasing trends, overachieving for applause that vanishes overnight. And every step in that cycle siphons life from them. But you escaped it. You let go of the world's definition of success, and in doing so, you slowed your body's decline. While their nervous systems are fried from constant comparison, yours found rest. While they drown in noise, you breathe in silence. That peace didn't just soothe your mind, it rewrote your biology. Imagine carrying a backpack full of rocks, day after day. That's what performing for the world does to a soul. And that's exactly why so many look older than they should. They're carrying the weight of everyone's expectations. But you chose to drop that backpack. You decided you'd rather be misunderstood than misaligned. You'd rather walk alone in peace than perform for applause. And because of that choice, you move lighter. You age slower. You look like someone who's been liberated from the very gravity that drags them down. And chosen one, let's answer the question that might creep into your own mind. Do people really see the difference? Yes, they do. That's why they stare too long. That's why they whisper when you pass by. They can't put their finger on it, but they know you look untouched by the same stress that chews them alive. They see it in your calm presence. They feel it in your energy. You're not frantic. You're not desperate. You're not restless like they are. And that peace unsettles them because it reveals how trapped they still are in the cycle. Peace is the greatest anti-aging serum. That's the secret they'll never admit, because they can't bottle it, they can't buy it, they can't fake it. Peace is earned through rejection, through isolation, through letting go of the matrix's grip. And that's what you've done. You paid the price of walking away from fake approval, and now you're reaping the reward. Your reflection is the receipt. Your glow is the proof. Now imagine this. Someone who once mocked you for being different sees you now. They're drained, exhausted, running on fumes from a life built on performance. But when they see you, calm, steady, radiant, it cracks something inside them. Because they realize you're not just surviving outside the system, they're decaying inside it. Your face has become a clock that reminds them of everything they wasted, every year they traded for applause that meant nothing. That's why their compliments sound shaky. That's why their stares linger too long. Because standing next to you is like standing next to a living contradiction. Someone who walked away from the circus and got younger in the process. You stopped performing, and in return, time stopped performing its usual tricks on you. That's what they can't comprehend. You're not on their clock anymore. You're not racing toward burnout. You're flowing toward alignment. You reclaimed your time, your energy, your identity, and it shows. Every line missing from your face is proof of every mask you refuse to wear. Every glow in your skin is proof of every performance you chose not to give. And that's why they're stunned when they see you. You don't look like someone who played by their rules, because you didn't. So, chosen one, hold your head high when they whisper. Let them choke on their envy when the math doesn't add up. You're not aging the way they are because you're not carrying what they carry. You dropped the performance. You escaped the system. You unplugged from the matrix. And now, every time they see you, they're forced to face the brutal truth. You froze the clock not by chance, but by choice. You stopped dancing in their circus, and in return, the universe gave you back your youth. Number 4. They expected your fall, but you rose into fire. They waited for your glow to fade, but instead, every year, you became harder to ignore, and that's their nightmare. That's the punch, chosen one. Your enemies built their hopes on the belief that time would take you down quietly, the way it does everyone else. They imagined your confidence shrinking, your relevance fading, your presence dissolving into the background. But what they forgot is this: you were never built for decline. You were built for ascension. Think about it. Society feeds people the same tired script. Shine a little in your 20s, lose your edge in your 30s, and by your 40s, they expect you to vanish into invisibility. That's the program. That's the matrix. But you, chosen one, didn't follow their script. You shredded it. While others dimmed, you burned brighter. While they fizzled out, you grew sharper. And the best part, you didn't do it by hustling harder or faking perfection. You did it by stopping the performance altogether. You stopped apologizing. You stopped begging for validation. You stopped shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. That's when you became untouchable. Imagine this. Time was supposed to be your enemy, yet every year it adds new layers to your power, like fire-hardening steel. That's exactly what's happening. Your posture commands respect. Your voice carries weight. Your presence feels heavier, but not in burden, in authority. They don't see decline when you walk in. They see a living contradiction, someone who broke every rule about age and still came out glowing. Here's the truth. Youth was never your final form. It was only the draft. What you carry now, that's the masterpiece. Every scar turned into wisdom, every rejection into resilience, every season of isolation into magnetism. Your glow doesn't come from creams or praise. It comes from surviving the fire and refusing to bow. And that's why they're unsettled. They thought they'd outlast you, that time would make you weaker. Instead, time crowned you. You didn't just get older, you became. And now, when they look at you, they're not seeing decline. They're staring at ascension. And the cruelest part for them? They can't stop it. Number 5. You didn't just survive the storm. You rebuilt yourself into something they can't touch. They thought the storm would strip you down, but instead it rebuilt you into a version of yourself they can't even recognize. That's the part that burns them the most. Chosen one. Most people think the best they can do is hold on, preserve what they have, slow down the clock a little, and pray it doesn't hit too hard. But you didn't just preserve yourself, you regenerated. You reversed damage they swore was permanent. You came back from hell not looking like a survivor, but looking like you'd been upgraded. Imagine this for a moment. They watched you walk through betrayals, heartbreak, isolation, nights so heavy it seemed like you'd never rise again. They expected to see the wear and tear etched across your body. They expected the chaos you endured to leave its signature on your face, but when you returned, they didn't see brokenness. They saw an upgrade. You looked like time had paid you back with interest, and that contradiction makes their heads spin, because it breaks every law of aging they believed was set in stone. Here's a brutal truth. Stress destroys. Science shows it shreds cells, breaks down immunity, and writes its damage across the skin. Most people carry that damage for the rest of their lives, but you didn't let it stay in you. You chose solitude. You chose silence. While others ran from stillness, you buried yourself in it. And though it almost broke you, it refined you instead. That isolation activated parts of your soul that had been dormant. It didn't just heal your mind. It rewired your biology. Regeneration is born in the fire of surrender. That's what happened to you. You didn't freeze yourself in time like some relic of your past. You rebuilt from the ground up. You shed false identities. You dismantled every mask you once wore to survive. You went inward and unearthed your true self, and your body responded. The stress left. The chaos bled out. And what remained was clarity, light, and renewal. That's why they whisper. That's why they stare. You don't just look good, you look untouched by the chaos that should have ruined you. You're not carrying scars on your face because you transmuted them into power. While they cracked under pressure, you regenerated in silence. And now, chosen one, your very presence announces the truth. You're not surviving time. You're rewriting it. Number 6. You starved bitterness and fed your glow. Bitterness is the acid that eats its container from the inside out. You refuse the sip, and that's why you shine while they wither. That's the truth, chosen one. Nothing ages a person faster than bitterness. You can see it stamped on their face, the dull eyes, the tight jaw, the heavy energy that clings to them like a shadow. They hold grudges so tightly that those grudges start sculpting their features, and they don't even realize that the real thief of their youth isn't time, it's resentment. Now imagine this. Someone your age, maybe even younger, walks into the room with a chip on their shoulder the size of a mountain. Every word they speak is dipped in sarcasm. Every glance carries quiet hostility. Their bitterness isn't just in their tone, it's in their posture, their skin, their aura. And then you enter. You don't carry that weight. Your face isn't carved by grudges. Your shoulders aren't hunched from holding old battles. You look lighter, freer, and it rattles them because they had every advantage over you, yet they look decades older. Here's a fact that cuts deep. Studies show that resentment and chronic anger keep the body in a constant state of stress, flooding it with toxins that age cells rapidly. And while most people surrender to that slow poison, you made a different choice. You had every reason to harden. They lied, they betrayed, they abandoned, but instead of letting that poison rot you, you spat it out. You refused to be a walking wound. Letting go isn't weakness, it's self-preservation. You knew this. You didn't let go for them. You let go for you. Because deep down you understood bitterness would cost you more than the betrayal ever did. And so you chose to release. You surrendered the weight. You protected your soul. And when the soul is purified, the body mirrors it. That's why your eyes still carry light. That's why your face reflects peace instead of pain. So when people look at you now, they can't explain your glow. They don't see someone untouched by hardship. They see someone untouched by poison. They see that you fought for joy, for peace, for surrender. And that decision, chosen one, became the most powerful anti-aging weapon you ever wielded. Number 7. You closed the buffet, and now they're starving without you. Energy vampires don't just drain your spirit, they carve years off your face. You cut them off, and that's why you shine while they sink. That's the reality, chosen one. For years, you walked around tired, for no reason. Not just sleepy, drained, like life itself was leaking out of you. And it was, because you were surrounded by parasites who didn't come to love you, they came to feed on you. They needed your light, your kindness, your availability, your endless supply of empathy. They weren't trying to grow beside you, they were trying to survive through you. And for a long time, you allowed it, not because you were weak, but because your heart was loyal. You thought it was love, you thought it was friendship, but what it really was leakage. Imagine carrying 10 people on your back while trying to run your own race. Of course you felt drained. Of course your glow dimmed. But then came the moment everything shifted. You cut the cord. You finally said, enough. And your body celebrated before your mind even caught up. You slept deeper. Your face softened. Your glow returned. Here's a fact. Chronic stress ages the body faster than time itself. And when you're entangled with parasites, your nervous system never rests. You're walking on eggshells, anticipating their moods, fixing their chaos, living on alert. That constant overdrive is why so many people look decades older than they are. But you escaped it. You detached, you stopped feeding their demons, and the moment you did, your system exhaled for the first time in years. Peace restores what parasites steal. That's why your reflection looks reborn, your skin cleared, your eyes sharpened, your energy grew magnetic. You didn't just start looking like yourself again. You started looking like the version of you that was buried beneath exhaustion, manipulation, and overgiving. The weight lifted and your body responded. Now, they're the ones shocked. The same people who drained you now stare at you wondering how you became so radiant, so rested, so untouchable. They can't admit it, but they know the truth. You closed the buffet, and without access to your energy, they're starving. Meanwhile, you're thriving, because your life force is finally yours again. And that's why you look different now, because you're no longer being consumed. You're being renewed. Number 8. You stripped off the masks, and now the real you shines through. Pretending ages the soul faster than time ever could. The moment you stopped performing, you started glowing. That's the dagger, chosen one. Because for years you carried identities that didn't belong to you. The obedient child, the fixer, the overachiever, the people-pleaser, the silent one. Masks you wore to survive in a world that demanded you shrink yourself to fit in. But every mask came with a cost, and your body was paying it. Think about it. Living a lie doesn't just weigh on the mind, it warps the body. Your shoulders hunch under pressure, your jaw locks from silence, your skin dulls from carrying shame that was never yours to hold. Even if you looked polished on the outside, inside you felt fractured, like your reflection wasn't telling the full truth. And that's because it wasn't. It wasn't you. Then came the breaking point, or maybe the breakthrough. You got tired of bending, tired of smiling through discomfort, tired of making yourself smaller just to keep others comfortable, and little by little, you stripped the layers. You questioned every script handed to you. You reclaimed your voice, your emotions, your truth. And with every mask that fell away, your body shifted. Your posture straightened, your face softened, your walk carried weight. You started radiating authority without even trying, because nothing glows brighter than authenticity. Imagine peeling off years of paint to reveal the original masterpiece beneath. That's what happened to you. Your skin started reflecting alignment, your eyes lit up with certainty, your voice carried resonance. You no longer looked like someone performing, you looked like someone embodying, and embodiment doesn't just look good, it radiates. That's why people stare like they've never seen you before. In truth, they haven't. They're finally seeing you. And here's the kicker, the glow they envy isn't skincare. It isn't filters, it isn't tricks, it's truth. You look lighter, freer, fuller, not because you reinvented yourself, but because you returned to yourself. You stopped carrying shame, stopped twisting yourself into their expectations, stopped hiding your light to fit in. And now, chosen one, your presence announces what they could never fake. You reclaimed your identity, and your body followed. Number 9. You faced the flames and came out glowing. Fire doesn't destroy the chosen, it forges them. That's why you shine while they're still covered in ashes. That's the hard truth, chosen one. People see you now, calm, confident, radiant, and it doesn't add up in their minds. They know the stories. They know the heartbreaks, betrayals, and storms you endured. They know the fire you walked through should have left you burned beyond recognition. And yet, when they look at you, they don't see scars. They don't see bitterness. They see light. And that contradiction gnaws at them because it makes no sense to a world that only knows survival by limping. Now imagine this. Two people go through the same fire. One comes out bitter, angry, wearing their pain like a permanent badge. You came out refined. While they reek of smoke, you walk out untouched, like the flames never consumed you. That's what people can't understand. You weren't just surviving, you were transcending. Here's a fact that exposes everything. Bitterness, anger, and unresolved pain age people faster than time itself. Wrinkles can't compete with the weight of resentment, and yet you refuse to carry that residue. You didn't let the fire cling to you, you let it burn away everything false. What emerged was your essence, purified and undeniable. Pain didn't break you, it clarified you. That's why you look the way you do now. Every betrayal became fuel for refinement. Every heartbreak sharpened your truth. Every storm stripped away illusions. You didn't lose yourself, you found yourself, and because of that, your body reflects it. Your face doesn't sag with bitterness. Your posture doesn't bend under victimhood. You carry yourself with a peace that no fire could steal. And this is why they stare. They expected damage, but they see strength. They expected you to be consumed, but you came out glowing. And here's the cruel irony for them. While they still carry the smoke of their own bitterness, you walk unbothered, untouchable, and more radiant than ever. So let them wonder, chosen one. Let them choke on their confusion. You know the truth. The fire didn't ruin you. It prepared you. And now you shine with a brilliance they'll never understand, because you walked through flames and emerged brighter than the sun. Number 10. You were hidden, so time could refine you, not corrupt you. Obscurity preserved you, while visibility devoured them. That's the sting, chosen one. While the world sprinted toward applause, validation, and the empty spotlight, you were placed in a cocoon so quiet it felt like exile. To them, you looked irrelevant, invisible, even forgotten. But in reality, you were being hidden on purpose, not as punishment, but as protection. Imagine this: while others threw themselves into toxic relationships, reckless pursuits of fame, or desperate grabs for recognition, you were kept in a secret garden where nothing and no one could corrupt your essence. You were shielded from premature exposure, guarded from the chaos that ages people before their time. They were busy being devoured by the system, chewed up, spit out, and left bitter. Meanwhile, you were incubating. You were strengthening your foundation, maturing in silence, being refined like a diamond far from the public eye. Hidden seasons aren't wasted seasons, they're sacred seasons. That's what preserved you. While the noise of the world aged them with stress and false validation, you were given the space to breathe, to heal, to grow without interruption. That isolation wasn't empty, it was incubation. And when you finally emerged, it wasn't just survival that stunned people, it was the fact that you came out looking untouched. Now think about it. People who got early exposure often look worn out now. They carry the scars of rushed success, the wrinkles of disillusionment, the heaviness of burnout. You look lighter, sharper, more magnetic, because while they were being drained by corruption, you were building immunity to it. Your solitude became your shield, and your preservation became your proof. They thought being overlooked meant you were losing. In truth, it meant you were being saved. And now that you've re-emerged, they don't know how to process it. You didn't just look different, you look renewed. Your glow carries mystery, your presence carries weight, and your energy feels untouchable. The truth: you didn't age the way they expected, you leveled up. That hidden season wasn't wasted, it was the greatest gift you were ever given. Because while the world raced itself into exhaustion, you were quietly becoming unstoppable. Number 11. Your body tells the story of a soul that time can't touch. Time can wrinkle skin, but it can't touch a soul that refuses to expire. That's the blow, chosen one. While the world obsesses over birthdays, grey hairs, and numbers ticking down like a doomsday clock, you've been living by a completely different law. They measure worth in years. You radiate timelessness, and that's why your appearance doesn't follow the script they expect. Think about it. Most people walk around treating age as a countdown, as if every year steals something from them. They panic over fine lines. They dread milestones. They shrink as the calendar turns. But you don't shrink. You expand. Your body doesn't reflect the usual decay because your soul doesn't operate on their timeline. You've tapped into a frequency that isn't ruled by clocks, deadlines, or expiration dates. Your soul doesn't wrinkle, it doesn't sag, it doesn't fade, it deepens, it grows, it evolves into something more powerful than before. Now imagine someone staring at you, trying to solve the riddle of your glow. They check your age, they compare, they do the math. But no equation makes sense because they're looking in the wrong place. They're searching for the secret in products, in routines, in genetics. But the truth is, your body is reflecting your soul, and your soul is eternal. Decay only touches those who never learn to transcend. That's what they don't grasp. You didn't just defy time, you moved beyond it. You stopped living as if years were chains, and you started embodying the truth that energy doesn't age. That's why your eyes look sharper. That's why your skin radiates peace. That's why your presence feels otherworldly, like you're operating from a dimension where the usual rules of wear and tear don't apply. And this is what unsettles them. Being around you feels like standing next to a contradiction. Someone their age should look tired, but you look renewed. Someone who's lived through storms should look scarred, but you look unbothered. They sense it without understanding it. Time has no hold on you. So let them whisper, let them wonder. What they call a miracle is simply alignment, your body reflecting a soul that has no expiration date, and that glow, it's eternity shining through skin. And so, chosen one, after everything we've uncovered, the truth is clear. Your looks and your age shock people because you are living proof that time bends for those who align with truth, peace, and resilience. You don't just survive the years, you rewrite them. That's why they whisper, why they stare, why they can't understand you. And thank you, chosen one, for walking this path with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop the number 77 in the comments, and share this message so more souls can receive it. You are part of a force, and your light matters.